welcome.
This is the first installment of Tenacious E, the supreme entrepreneur talk show. Yes. And today we are going to be talking about
Tenacious E.
podcasting. So we're going to be talking about how to utilize podcasting to market yourself and to gain clients. And not only are we going to be talking about it from the podcasting side, but also the other side, the production side of it, because Virginia is joining us and she has a podcast production company. So she sees what goes on all sides. Here we go. Oh, Janet Fish has joined. Let me get her on the stage here. Hold on a second. Okay, let's see. Oops. Here we go. All right, so she's going to join us on the stage. And I'm going to have you guys all introduce yourself.
It's good to see you, Sean. I see
Janet, wonderful. So I'm just telling everybody that we are going to be talking about using podcasts to market our business. So I'm going to have Virginia start. Virginia gave this great lecture at FinCon about how business owners can utilize podcasting to gain clients, let the world know that they are a thought leader in their field, and she mainly works with people that are in the finance space. But Virginia, what I'd love for each of you to do is to introduce yourself, your business, and who you serve. So let's start with you, Virginia.
Okay, well, thanks. I think you did a great introduction already. But yes, I am Virginia Elder. The company is called Podcast Abundance, and we primarily serve financial advisors, CPAs, basically anybody who talks something related to money. I've had profit coaches, I've had bankers, personal finance coaches, all of the above. You know, money's important. We all need it as a tool throughout our lives, and those are my type of podcasts that I love to listen to. So it just works perfect that I get to edit them. So yeah.
Yeah, and she also offers other services besides editing, but which we'll find out more about later. All right, Jen from Women Conquer Business, tell us about you.
That's right. I'm not sure. Am I supposed to is this how I
well, you've got
myself?
that superhero thing going on in your some of your marketing. So go ahead. All right, Jen, introduce yourself.
So my name is Jen McFarland. I actually have two businesses. One is Women Conquer Business. It's a marketing consultancy. I serve small businesses. And then for people who have small businesses and big hearts and not a huge budget, we have Epiphany Courses. That's online business courses and a community.
Awesome. All right. Thank you. So, Janet Fish. Yeah. Now, Janet, I just want to say to the folks out there, she's doing it right because she only works 4 days in her business, but she spends Friday at the golf course. And she also does Instagram lives and talks about lessons from the golf course. So she didn't have to work today, but she's doing this. All right.
I am like glistening a little bit because it's 89 degrees outside. And I just walked in the door from the golf course. I did pour myself a little margarita, so I'm starting a little early. I get it. But yeah, so I was on the golf course. So I don't look as professional as the rest of you lovely ladies, but that is okay.
I look professional. Okay.
Well, and you know what? It's funny because I once had someone say something to me about my Instagram picture used to be me in a baseball cap, and someone made a comment to me like, I am a business coach. I'll talk a little bit about what I do. And she's like, well, that picture's kind of unprofessional. And I'm like, no, the picture is me. Like, right. It's my brand. I've been doing this for, 17 years, and I have earned the right to look any way I want to look because the services that I provide are amazing, and I don't have to be in a suit and like all of that. So I am Janet Fish, long way around the bank. I am Janet Fish, and I serve entrepreneurs who are looking to get unstuck, get more clients, and make more money. I have been coaching for, I don't know, like I said, since 2005. I've coached over 1,000 people. So I'm a business coach, and really what I focus on is marketing. That is kind of my secret sauce. That's really my zone of genius. So I work with entrepreneurs primarily on what are their marketing strategies, what they can do differently, how they can use them more effectively, And this is why I love this conversation, because for me, because I eat the dog food. I don't know if that's the best thing to say, but I walk the talk. That'd be a better thing. I have 2 dogs who are playing right here.
Drink the Kool-Aid?
Right?
I don't know. Maybe.
So,
I don't know.
So now we're talking about drinking we're talking about eating the dog food because I have 2. But I do what I say, and I use my podcast as the hub of all my marketing activities. So I know that's kind of the topic of today.
Janet, so you're jumping ahead here. Hold on.
Okay.
Hold your horses. All right.
And I yield the mic, as they like to say.
So,
I want to say hi to Tanner.
Hi, Tanner.
Forever. It's good to
nice
see you,
for
Tanner.
You to join us. So just for those who have joined a little bit late, this is our first installment of Tenacious E. It's the Supreme Entrepreneur Talk Show. So this is the first installment. We're going to be doing this on a regular basis. We, meaning me and whoever wants to join me. And so I'm looking for other entrepreneurs that would like to join me in the future on Instagram, because I love this idea that we can do these Instagram rooms now where you can have 4 people on stage. So much more exciting than Clubhouse.
That's right.
I'll tell. Okay, so
some of us were right about Clubhouse.
Yes.
Did you just say some of us were right about Clubhouse?
That's what she said. Because that's what she said. All right.
I love that.
So what I want to ask you guys is, I wrote so sloppily my questions that I wonder what's your turn. Okay. I don't even know what I wrote here. Oh, what is the one way podcasting has impacted your business? I shouldn't have written these questions. I should have just gone off the cuff. I don't know. Sorry.
That's okay.
Virginia, I want to start with you.
Okay,
so let's just tell people she started in podcasting and then she went into podcast production. She actually has a background in accounting.
Yeah. I actually quit my accounting career, and I have a picture of myself being like, bye, like out the, at the front of the, skyscraper, like getting on the train, being like, peace out downtown, because I was going home to work. And just, not having to ride the train 45 minutes anymore. And the big part of that was getting podcast clients. And if we back up just a little bit, yeah, you nailed it, Heather. I launched my own podcast probably a year before that. I was doing financial coaching and wanted to help get the word out. And I had been going to FinCon and sharing. And it just kind of blossomed, like right there that year at FinCon. Several financial advisors turned to me and said, oh, you have a show? You did it yourself? How did you do that? Never mind. Can you just do mine? And I was like, sure. And that was just the start of it. I think my first 3 clients were all financial advisors. And I said, hey, this is my jam. I know what they're saying. I know how to make them sound and I know how to help refine their voice in a way that communicates what they're wanting to say. And it's all up from there. So really podcasting, yes, it started my business. It still is a large part of my business. So
that's very cool.
It's been a very fun ride.
We'll come back to you again on this question because of all the things that you put together for FinCon. You had so many great things of why business owners should get into podcasting. And when I put this question out, it's not only just having a podcast, but it also could just be guesting on a podcast too, because there's that other side of it. So Jen,
absolutely.
I met you. Well, I met all of you through podcasting. So for one thing, it's like opens up your network to some amazing people. I would not know any of you. So Jen, what about you? What kind of things does it help in your business?
How is it not in some ways? So I started my podcast because I liked talking to people. That's why. But really early on, and Tanner can attest to this, a company reached out to me and said, can we republish your podcasts and sell them? And I was like, okay. And then I started getting money and I was like, okay,
I like that.
Cool. So it's kind of like this idea that you don't have to have a huge following. And there are people out there who want to learn, because I have a marketing podcast, but it's really marketing how-tos. And I now do like exclusive lessons for this company, and I make a fair amount of money from that. And then those lessons have become Epiphany courses, which is my other business of just teaching people about marketing. So I don't think I would, I think I would still be doing like done for you marketing services exclusively, were it not for starting a podcast, liking to talk to people, interviewing them, and then starting to do shows on my own, and then making money from it. And I was like, okay, so I have a great product here. Like, it just gave me more confidence. And so for me, it is, podcasting is money and testing ideas and then sharing them with people and helping people learn.
Jen's podcast has actually morphed over time. So originally it was just her and she'd have guests. And now Women Conquer Business is actually a twosome. It's a twosome show, and it also goes live on Instagram, which is really cool.
A twosome. Yeah. Well, I met Shelly at She Podcast. So this is why you should go to conferences and meet people. And she's really into live streaming on YouTube. So we have a live stream on Thursdays that we take the audio and publish on Fridays as a podcast. And it's been great. It's super fun. We get to take questions during the show and kind of answer things on the fly.
It's a really good show. So you can catch it as a podcast, or you can watch it on video, or watch it live, and then you can put your questions, and then your questions come up and you can see them. All right, Janet.
Yeah, it's true.
I love technology. Janet, tell us what is something that people can learn from podcasting, utilizing their business, all the things. Not all the things, just something.
Okay, so I'll just say, so I started a podcast, it'll be 3 years in January, so 2+ years. And it was an interview show, and then it kind of morphed into some solo shows. And then, because I work with podcasting mentors, we came up with the idea of actually doing what I call a marketing audit. So I'm a coach, like if anybody's a coach, figure out a way to do an audit, bring people on your show. What we do is we talk about where they are in marketing, where they want to go. I give them some actionable items that they can do right away to, increase their marketing reach. And then it gets released as an episode of the podcast, and then they get exposure with that. That is the one single biggest thing that I have done with my podcast to monetize my podcast. Because the number of people who come through that, they get to know me. And then I have people listening to it and they're like, that sounds like me. I resonate with that. And so I've gotten a lot of clients just by practicing coaching on I'll call that practicing coaching on my podcast.
Yeah. Ooh, I like that. Yeah, I've been wanting to do something, I have been doing something similar. I've started to, but the word audit means something different in like
I wouldn't use it for you.
Yeah,
not for you.
I've been playing around with some other wording, but not audit.
No one wants one of those.
So Virginia, maybe just like one or two little sprinkles of things that you thought about when you gave that FinCon lecture that we could learn from, that entrepreneurs in the audience can learn from.
Yeah. One of the biggest things that I emphasized was having a single call to action that you want people to do. You can't bombard them with, hey, go follow me on Instagram and download my freebie and, sign up for my course and they aren't going to do any of them. But if you tell them to do one thing, they're a lot more likely to do that. And then the other piece was that your show, you can do whatever you want with it, right? Like, you guys were just talking about two completely different styles. We already kind of touched on the fact that you can pivot and change your style. You can introduce segments. You can do whatever you want. And the reason I bring that up is because it's important to think about what your listener needs to hear. I think you already gave a great example about that, doing the live audits on your show, because that's what people wanted to hear. They want to hear that insight into the marketing mind of, oh, well, if my business is like that and she's telling her to do this, maybe I should be doing that too, or maybe she should evaluate my business. And that's why you're driving business with your podcast, because you thought specifically about what your audience needed to hear and designed your show around that. So don't be afraid to make those moves, even if it's weird, even if you don't know anybody else that's doing that on their show. So what? That's how you stand out, and that's how you're going to connect with your people.
Yeah, I would say that, it took us a long time. We have segments now. I think we have 4 or 5 segments every show. And it took a long time to get into that way, so it's like marketing news. And then we have, our how-to training section and inspiration and, tweak of the week, because I love apps and we talk about apps. But it was hard I couldn't have done that in the beginning. And I think that that's the beauty of podcasting is, as you evolve, your podcast can evolve with you, so that then you're able to better serve the community. Like, I don't do live audits, but I do have a free marketing assessment. So you can check your own marketing and then come to me, if you need help. And so we all kind of have our own way of doing it. And the great thing about podcasting is they're all right. Like, there's no wrong way. Like, it's so wonderful to just have this evolution and people follow you.
Yeah,
they do. Long as it's interesting.
I personally can't tell you how many books and courses and everything else that I've bought because I learned to know, like, and trust that podcaster in time just by having them in my ears. And
you're being upset by a dog. Sorry.
I'm sorry. Usually it's cats, but my dog is like licking the sweat off my arm, and I'm like, oh, that's so cute.
Yeah.
Sorry to be distracting.
No. I was looking for mine. I was like, are mine in here? Where are they?
So, Janet, you do something different on your show. Are you still doing the Zoom parties?
I am.
Tell us about how you utilize. So this is like an audience engagement that you do. Tell us about what you do.
Yeah, so it's an entrepreneurial, I call it the break. Okay, so my whole brand is Breakaway is my company. Breakthrough Your Profit Ceiling is my podcast. So it's all breakthrough, break whatever. So I created something called the Break Room Zoom Party. And I do it twice a month. I do first and third Monday at noon Pacific time. And I know, Heather, you do the same thing. You do Monday afternoons, I think once a month, right?
Once a month, yeah.
Yeah, and so it's just a free forum for people to come on. Sometimes I'll do some education. Sometimes I'll just ask a question. But we spend 45 minutes or so, and we just kind of go around, and people show up. And then that also gets everyone. I mean, I don't release all of them as podcast episodes, but I release a lot of them as podcast episodes if they're. I think that the things that we talk about are the things that my audience would be interested in. I mean, I've had some where I'm like, there's no way I'm going to release that. Because, well, and let's face it, because at the end of the day, like, I never thought about this the first year I was podcasting. I never thought, is this what my podcast listeners want to hear? I didn't know, because I didn't know who the heck my podcast listeners were, right?
Yeah.
But then as I switched from interview to doing more solo and doing other things, I really think about do I think that's what they want to hear? So anyway, so that's what we call it, community, lead magnet, or, way to get people together.
Yeah, so yours is more unpredictable. So you've got that, like, I'm not doing it live per se, like it's not going live. You've got the chance to, like, edit crap out and then maybe not ever release it. Okay, what were you going to say, Virginia?
I was going to say, I love that she brought that up, because a lot of new podcasters really think that they have to record and release everything. And that's a huge shift of an experienced podcaster knowing, you know what, I can do this interview and it can suck and I cannot air it. You don't have to air everything that you record. And it is up to you as the host to make that judgment call. If it's just not, like, the answers weren't in alignment with your brand or whatever happens in the interview, you don't have to release everything that you record. So that's a huge step.
Yeah, I'm laughing. I interviewed somebody and they drank out of a straw the whole time. And I was like, I went back and listened to it and I'm like, oh no, that's
the, like, slurping noise.
Because it's nothing, it's just, yes, it sounds so gross. And, like, especially when you don't see the person. So
okay, at least you didn't have, like, I did one, thank God it's audio, but I recorded it as a video. And it was actually an ex-boyfriend of mine, but I guess he didn't realize he had his phone on, and he took me to the bathroom with him. And he's a guy who, when he pees, he sits down. I'm assuming that's what he was. So he sits down, and I'm on the video, and I'm like, clearly, I'm not ever gonna, I'm not gonna release this. But it was pretty funny.
It's so funny. Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, if you've done it long enough, like, let's see, I also interviewed somebody, and they sat next to a fan, and I'm like, I can't. No, this isn't gonna work. Like a big air conditioner fan. I've also recorded multiple podcasts without turning the mic on. So then I had to re-record it, and I sounded too angry because I was angry that I had recorded a whole show without audio.
I'm angry because I have to re-record this.
I have done that.
Right. So then I was like, I can't sound that angry. So then so then you have to do it again, you know, and I think that does come with experience. You can't know how it comes across maybe emotionally to others until you have more self-awareness after a little bit of time of doing it. I mean, I started podcasting in 2018, so I've got
many years.
I've got a lot.
Well, and I think like I have a couple of episodes that I didn't release because I didn't think that, I mean, it was way too salesy or and I was all worried that the person that I interviewed would be upset, and I don't think they ever, like, I think one of them contacted me and I said, I'm so far ahead, it just haven't been released yet. Which, okay, that was kind of a white lie, so that wasn't such a good thing. But the second time, or the other person never even asked me. But I think now, if I were to do it again, I would say, I listened to the episode, I just don't think it resonates with my audience, rather than tell a white lie and say, oh, it just hasn't been released yet. Like, I think I have the confidence now that I would just tell the truth rather than, like, shine them on. Tell me, have you guys ever done that? And what have you done? Have you, like, white lied like me, or you came clean, or, like, I'm sure you're better than me, so I'm sure you came clean.
I think it depends on the person, and I think how they would take it. But I have had ones that I thought I'll never release, and then I've, like, chopped them up and done some, you know, like, you can put them on video, maybe just utilize part of it. So sometimes it's not using the whole thing as a podcast, but I'm experimenting with that, but some never been released. But again, Janet, I think some of those people, they are just like spraying like all these different podcasts, and they don't even remember if they were on your show or not.
Yeah. That's the big thing. It depends on who the guest is, but that kind of proves that even if you did air it, they didn't go back and find it and listen and share it with their audience. They weren't that type of guest, which is probably, you know, would be the fair exchange. You know, I'm on your show. I share out the episode when it comes with my audience so that they follow you. Like, that's the whole deal, right? Yeah. And clearly they weren't even those people, because they didn't even ever figure out that it never aired. So it just wasn't in alignment at all. So you made the right decision. Yeah.
Well, that's why I stopped doing interview shows. It's like a pandemic of people not sharing it after the fact. I was like, so I'm just like your hype man or woman. Whoa, man. So then I'm just doing that for you, and then you're not gonna do me a solid and share it. Like, so then I that's when I went to solo.
That is the struggles. I do have people ask all the time, like, how do you get guests to share the episode that we recorded? And we've experimented with different things of providing them, like, you know, graphic assets and audiograms and things like that with their quotes, like, to try to help. But it is kind of an interesting game as far as if there isn't a relationship before the interview, it is less likely to be shared. But if it's like your friend, you know, like if Heather was on my show or something, like, I think that would be a pretty easy share for both of us. But you know what I mean? It's tough when it's someone who's an author that you didn't know ahead of time, or whatever the thing is.
Yeah. So, okay, I want to, we've talked about some things that, like, haven't really worked, and I kind of want to dive into some things that entrepreneurs maybe should be aware of when they are guesting on a podcast, or if they are doing a podcast. So you can go either way. And actually, Virginia, you touched on something that I made a mistake, and that's why I was grimacing when you said it, was Jen McFarland, Women Conquer Business, pointed this out to me, and I appreciate the feedback, that I was on a podcast recently, yesterday, was it yesterday? And I had like a bajillion call to actions, like, hey, follow my link tree, download my free PDFs, come to my free workshops. I mean, like when I think about it, I probably had about 12 call to actions. And then not only that, there was like, they looked at some of my web pages and I like explained every single call to action. So, so that's obviously something to avoid.
I mean,
so I need to have one call to action. So I'd love to know if, Jen, if you could just answer, like, what would be a really good one call to action? I'm thinking maybe it's a free webinar that's pre-recorded, but you can answer that. And then let me know about what other things you think of for entrepreneurs to watch out for.
I mean, a really common one really is like you ask people to listen to your show, or I prefer anything that you capture a name.
That's what I was looking for.
Because then you can go through and do your bajillion offers. That's how you want to do it. You know? But if you don't have their name and email address, you can't do that. So it's always like a free opt-in, preferably. But I do know a lot of podcast guests who promote their show, and then they're doing very targeted guesting, and they're promoting their show and they capture people that way. But yeah, I mean, one thing, confused mind never buys. I mean, that's marketing.
Yep, and I just confused a whole lot of people. All right.
It's okay. Live and learn.
Just, I know, improve next time. You always have that opportunity.
So next time,
and there's more, and there's more, and then it comes with a set of knives. Yeah. So
next time, Heather, just have one call to action, but repeat it 10 times instead of having 10 call to actions.
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah, and something that has a very distinct URL, I guess, or some way of like getting to it that's easy, that I don't have to just like spell out my last name for sure.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, an alternative to Zeitzel accounting.
That's what.
Unfortunately, I mean, and that's just the case if you have a name that's.
No, that's why I've got a second website, Get the Balance Right. But I'm thinking I'm going to have a separate thing for. But wait, there's more. Yes.
I know.
But wait, there's more. I mean, I will say that if you had gotten to the knives, I probably would have been all in, but you never got to the
free set of knives.
Knife demo, like the free set of knives.
But there was the free profit and loss workshop. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It is tough to narrow it down though. And I think that's sometimes where we have to like look at the year and say, okay, this month, this is my call to action. Next month is this, or divide it by quarter, or somehow have a way that you're promoting a certain thing. You can change it. It's not permanent, but decide what your target's going to be, maybe per episode or per month, something like that. But it is tough. We all have like so many things we want to share.
Yeah. Janet, what about you? What's something that an entrepreneur should avoid besides multiple call to actions all that sprayed at once?
Well, you know that I'm obsessed with email marketing. So I would say anything, as we've already talked about a little bit, I think Jen mentioned it and everyone's mentioned it, something that drives people to a landing page with a really good lead magnet or free irresistible offer in exchange for the email. I think that that's great. I would say that what I do with my podcast, and my suggestion would be like, take a 6-week period or whatever that is and promote that one lead magnet for 6 weeks on your podcast, or 4 weeks, or whatever number that is. Yeah. And then I would also align that, if I'm going to be on a podcast, I'm going to be talking about the exact same lead magnet on that podcast that I'm talking about in those 6 weeks, because people are going to go from there and listen to your show, and it would be probably better if I'm talking about that same thing. Come join me in the break room, as opposed to marketing audit or 35 ways to build your email list, or like we all have a gazillion of them, right? So be kind of consistent. And then I actually have a whiteboard with all of my shows, and I actually write down what I'm promoting each, because I do ads on my show for my stuff, and I actually put it on. So I have a production schedule. These 6 weeks I'm going to promote a workshop, or these 6 weeks I'm going to promote this, so that it all kind of starts to come together as a plan.
Yeah.
that's taken me 2 years of podcasting to get to, just so we know.
Okay, so that's a great tip. Okay, so let's just do, because I want to be conscious of your time. So let's do a hot tip for each person. So Virginia, what is a hot tip that you'd give to somebody that is already in podcasting? Maybe, and we haven't really talked much about podcast guesting except for one call to action. Maybe something for a guest even.
Well, for guests, have a very clear onboarding email that, you have to wear headphones, you have to have a mic, like whatever the instructions are that you're going to require. And again, you're the host, you're in charge, you have that authority, use it, don't be afraid, and share like a very clear onboarding email so that they're on time, they're prepared. When they do show up, they know probably a few of the questions that you're going to ask so they can have answers prepared. But that would be the biggest thing, is how do I get guests set up properly? How do I prevent people from showing up without a mic? That type of thing comes up for a lot of new podcasters when they're thinking about having a guest on.
And what about you, Jen? Any hot tip that you want to give to podcasters or guesting or any of that kind of stuff?
So for podcasters, you want to make sure that you share your call to action during the show. That was a mistake that I made a lot early on, because I didn't have enough calls to action to my stuff. I was highlighting other people. That changed when I stopped having guests. The second hot tip is actually for people who are guesting. Don't feel like you have to just, like, I'm in marketing. I rarely go on like marketing podcasts. I go in places where I can tell an interesting story, and it can be a good conversation, and it doesn't have to be super salesy. Like, it's the stories are what like bring people in. And I think people forget that sometimes, that it's not just about making a sales call. It is about sharing your story, providing people with value, and then they will naturally come to you, because that's really the best marketing, is providing
Awesome.
value.
I love that. Okay, Janet, what about you?
So my hot tip is for podcasters. And I would say embrace your podcast as your voice. Embrace it as the influencer that you are. It took me a really long time to get to the point where I was like, no, it's my podcast and I have a voice and it gets to be my voice. And really embrace that as the powerful, it's a microphone and it's very powerful. And I would say embrace that if you're a podcaster.
Oh, I love that. All right, so let's just go around one last time and tell us how people can work with you and like where they can find you. One call to action, people. Okay.
One call to action. Okay, so mine is easy. I am on Instagram at Podcast Abundance. Follow me there. You'll learn all the things you need to know.
But you can tell us what you do.
Okay. Okay, well, I help entrepreneurs produce their podcasts. I take care of all of the post-production, and that includes audio, video, and copywriting. So basically any online media that you need support with for your business, so that you can work on your business and not in your business.
Love it. All right.
Wait, say one more time, because I can't see you. Because what's your handle on Instagram?
It's at Podcast Abundance.
Okay, great. Because I want to make sure that I follow you after here, and I don't want to hit the buttons and all that right now. So
yeah, I know, me too. I'm afraid to touch anything.
I know. So I'll definitely I'll connect with all of you. But yeah,
same back. Same to you.
And Jen, what about you? Tell us.
So yeah, you can find me at Women Conquer Biz. That's my Instagram handle. WomenConquerBiz.com is my website. I would just encourage people to subscribe there. They can hear about all of the small business marketing coaching and teaching that I do. My weekly newsletter is really just a lesson. It's not salesy. So if you really want to get some deep insights about what's going on, head over there.
Yeah, she's got a really good newsletter. All right. Janet Fish.
Yeah, so I am Breakaway Business Coaching here on Instagram. And I don't think any of us have talked about the name of our show. My show is called Break Through Your Profit Ceiling. So that's my name of my podcast. So I'd say go check me out there.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay. And I should at least do some kind of spiel.
Yeah.
So
Heather, your turn.
I'm Heather Zeiswolf, and my podcast is called Get the Balance Right. And my one call to action. Why don't you do this? Why don't you just follow me on Instagram, and then we'll be connected, and you just tell me that you saw me here on the Tenacious E.
Is this an E or is this an E? Is this an E? Is
I
this
don't
a
know.
backward
How
E?
do you
No, wait.
it?
E is like in sign language. This is an E.
Oh.
That's
Tenacious E. All right.
I have to get my 10-year-old to show us like what's cool.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
totally.
And so
great.
this is a call to action now for the show. Is
Yes.
that I'm looking for other entrepreneurs to go live. So if you want to be the supreme entrepreneur on the show, then find me on Instagram at Zeitzwolf. So
Are you doing this show every Friday around this time? Because
I'm
this is usually my, today this is my lesson from the golf course, because I'm usually going live on Instagram with lessons from my life at 3 o'clock. So I'm like, I guess I'll kill two birds with one stone today.
Yeah. So I was thinking probably doing it like maybe every other week, just to keep it manageable. So
Sustainability.
Yes. Well, I was trying to do 51 days of TikTok live, and the other day my cat jumped up on me, and not live, I didn't mean live, just TikTok. And then my cat jumped up on me, and I was like, oh, that's cute. And I did a little video of him. Of course, he got as many likes as like I normally get. So I'm like, what am I even doing on this thing? Like, so forget it. So I decided that this is more fun. I like to do this better. So I'm switching gears. So
Love it.
yeah.
Why not?
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. And I will share this out so people that joined us late, if you want to hear all about it, you can listen.
Well, and I want to say, a great meeting you ladies, because we have not met before. So a great meeting. And this was
nice
awesome
to,
to be on.
Thank you,
I
Heather, for
purposely-
connecting
I purposely
us.
chose you guys because you didn't know each other, and I thought it would be kind of fun to like have like new faces together.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
This
Cool.
is awesome. Nice to meet you guys. This is very fun. Yay.
All
Nice
right.
to meet you.
See you later.
See you.
Yay.
Bye.
All right. See you. Bye.